So TackleLondon is a project which is the coming together of three charities, so the Atlas Foundation, the Matt Wright and the Rugby Foundation and the Star Scheme, and it's an entire wraparound provision for young people to engage with grassroots rugby. So the work starts here in schools, where we provide coaching and mentoring for the young people, and then we continue that coaching and mentoring as we take young people on their journey into rugby clubs. The rugby clubs that they're going to are supported by Star Schemes, so the coaches are trained in the world of adversity and trauma. We have funding set up to support the young people with transport and kit and making sure that the whole experience into rugby. What really though is at work, both here at the school and in the rugby clubs, is the power of community. So we're bringing young people into a community where they'll be accepted, where there is opportunity for them, where they can encounter trusted, nurturing relationships with adults and peers, and sort of be within the safety that a community like that can provide. And it's within the safety of that community that they build relationships, and in those relationships they build resilience, and as they build resilience they're able to overcome any trauma, any issues really that they encounter. So the thing about working with adversity in childhood is that it allows us to work with all young people. We don't have to be specific to tackle any particular trauma or any particular concern or experience that the young person's worked with. We're able to be a space for all young people with all of their experiences to turn up, to receive the mentorship and belong to something and build those relationships. There are so many challenges facing young people today. You know, the isolation that's been afforded to them post-pandemic, or perhaps the rise of digital media, means that often they're in silos on their own, and bringing them into rugby, bringing them into an environment where they're making relationships, building community, helps them to break down some of the barriers that maybe are in place for them, and it creates a positive space for them to exist within. The other great thing about being in sport is that within sport you learn a lot about building resilience, being part of a team, respecting each other, overcoming adversity. So actually, you know, these young people might have faced adversity in their lifestyle for a myriad of reasons, but on the field they get to overcome the adversity of overcoming the opposition, and you learn a lot in that. There's a lot of regulation, a lot of respect and a lot of collaboration that happens in the environment of a sports field, which then creates lessons and learnings that can be taken into their wider lives. Yeah, brilliant. So currently we're working in Croydon and we're starting to work into the boroughs that surround London. The ultimate aim of TackleLondon is to be across the entirety of London, working in schools and with the grassroots rugby clubs to create this project everywhere, because there's need everywhere, right? There's need in every single borough in London, there's need in every district of the country, but TackleLondon, the aim has to be that we end up across and through the entirety of London and surrounding areas, providing the entirety of London and the surrounding areas, providing this resource for the vulnerable young people that need it most. So, you know, today we're here in Meridian in Croydon, and we're currently working with 8 schools in Croydon, but the aim will be that within 3 to 5 years we will have 5 to 8 schools in every single borough of London, each school being connected to at least 1, if not 2 rugby clubs, so that we're able to provide grassroots rugby for every single young person that wants to play, and that they'll get high quality rugby provision in school which will prepare them for moving into the community game. The young people that come to rugby in school are having the time of their life. They're loving having an egg-shaped ball in their hand. When we get them to the clubs, they love playing the game, and we know that for every young people that we get into the sport, playing rugby in the community and outside of school hours, is a young person that isn't out on the streets, isn't vulnerable to grooming, and isn't vulnerable to being involved in criminality. We owe it to the young people of today to provide them with those opportunities, and rugby is the perfect environment to do that in. For every young person that we get into the rugby club, it's a young person that isn't out on the street, vulnerable to being groomed and vulnerable to criminality. So funding from New Deal is game changing for us. It's going to enable us to expand the work we're doing here in Croydon into surrounding boroughs, to reach even more young people, to support even more young people and families to be involved in a positive experience which will help them to build resilience and overcome whatever they're facing in their life.